Welcome to Widener's Weather Wagers with Sam. How you doing?
I'm even Steven as usual. I'm very even keeled.
Basking in the profits from my 5-1 week.
I got it for myself. For the followers of the show. I make sure that it's easy with me. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get a win. You're going to get a loss. And at least last week, the chances are if you watched the show a little bit later in the week, you actually didn't want to know because my one game was real early in the week.
Yeah.
So if you didn't watch it by like the first day or two, you missed it and you got the winner.
You're good at getting us started. I think it's been the last couple of weeks. The first one lost.
Yep.
And then your second one won, of course.
Yep. Of
on
course.
Sunday. But yeah,
at this point,
coming out of a hole, but we came out of it pretty good.
People should just wait for the first one to lose and then put it all in on the second.
But yeah, I mean, it was another good week. It was a busy week. A lot of big storm came across the country, which we talked about last Tuesday, and there was a couple plays on the show. There was a couple plays I put up before the show. There was the one emergency broadcast from that Sunday before the show, which was a good one for us. So yeah, that was the. I guess we can start there. That was the.
Yeah, let's start with a recap. Recap what your week was, and I know we want to talk about specifically, how important it is to subscribe to the YouTube video channel and follow under Mike626 on Twitter because you need to get the lines as early as possible. Because tell them what happened this week.
So yeah, that was the Air Force Baylor game in the cold and wind, and I jumped on Sunday morning early Sunday morning. It was 49.5. I sent out a quick video, play it now, and that was going to be dropping, and the line the total ended up at 43, I think 43 or 43 and a half. And what did the score end up at, Sam?
45? 47?
Yeah, 35-10.
Yeah.
So that's a win for Under Mike and a loss for anyone that bet the total before the game.
Right. We hope, obviously, we're not rooting against you. Obviously, we rather it hit easily under, so there's no sweat. But it just shows you the importance and of getting the best number. And it's you put that out 5 days in advance. Something like that game was like 5. That was like 5 or 6 days before the game.
That was I believe it was Sunday morning. So I think that was around Thursday game, I believe. So yeah, that was a good one. It was a little bit of a sweat, which again it doesn't hurt, but it ended up working out as it basically is what we do here and justifies what we do a little bit. You get on the games early with us, and it was a winner. Air Force, we had running the ball a ton. They took off a lot of time, and I like them. I think we hinted at it a little bit on the show too on Tuesday that I think I asked, what do you think with their running game and in these conditions? And we were talking about it. I actually did put a little bit on it. We didn't make it official or anything, but that was one that we were thinking of just with the conditions, and we saw it.
Yep.
Saw it play out exactly as we
did talk about that, and we both liked Air Force on that spot.
Yeah, so that was a good one, a good win to start, and I guess we can look at a couple other the big games for the week. We had the New Orleans Saints and the Cleveland Browns, and we both had a little piece of that one, huh?
I mean, that game, yeah. I was worried early, obviously. it did not start well. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there and I'm like, because this is the game I thought that I'm like, I said it. I was like, Taysom Hill, this is a good game for him. It should get ugly. He can do some of his power rushes. And they weren't really using him as much as I thought.
Nothing
they were,
in the beginning.
yeah. And then like his first couple carries, he was tearing it up. Just like I said, I was like, he ended up having 9. I just looked it up. I want to get his final stats. 9 carries for 56 yards and a touchdown, which is pretty good. Over 6 yards a pop. That game, we were all over that one both ways. You loved the under. It sailed under, and the Saints made a nice comeback in the second half, courtesy of the guy that I was depending on, Taysom Hill, who I personally do not like because I hate when they I hate when they bring him in a regular game that like where like they're moving down the field, they have 5 or 6 good plays in a row, and then they're like, let's switch quarterbacks for one random play. It kills the rhythm. But
it has to
made
be tough
sense.
on the starter, whoever it may be at that time, Dalton or
Dalton did nothing this game. It was an ugly game, an ugly under. It went down as low as 31 or 31 and a half, I believe, and still went under.
Yeah, so that one ended 17-10. I mean, that one I stopped watching. I got a little frustrated with it, but that was one of the worst weather game, I would say. The winds there were probably pushing, 25, 30 miles per hour. It was cold. Wind chills probably negative 10, 15 degrees. It ended up 17-10. There wasn't anything going in the first quarter. Then they got some touchdowns in the second. I didn't watch the whole fourth quarter, but I know Cleveland got close at the end, I think. They got down there, but Deshaun Watson, I mean, he's said he only started recently. He had like 2 years off, and he's just used to getting pleasured while getting massages. I mean, it's not football. So it's a little different than playing in negative 15 degrees wind chills versus getting massages. I don't think massage rooms. So.
He got a $200-some million contract somehow. I have no idea how, but So that was nice. A nice one to get both ways there, you know.
Yeah. That one I think I had sent out a tweet on before our video, and then I think the other one was a tweet. The Buffalo-Chicago game, that was out of the NFL, that was the second worst when it comes to wind and cold. But again, it's the Bills and the Bears. We ended up losing that one. That went over. I think that Buffalo scored in the last 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes or something to put it over. Yeah,
and it's funny because I know you are hesitant to take unders on Josh Allen games. I know you like them. I know you like the big, strong, strapping lads. Because you're like he can power through the wind, he can run.
Yeah.
But it came back. But hey, like I said, you're gonna lose games. You can't. I mean, I know you're 23-7, 5-1 last week, but there's going to be some losses. But that was one of those ones where it's close until the very end.
Yeah.
What wasn't close to the very end? My South Alabama pick. That was my loser.
I forgot about that. How could I forget?
That was my loser. That game I'm glad it wasn't close. Rather get blown out than lose a close one sometimes. But that's just brutal. Like that game just disappointed me because I really, really liked South Alabama, especially if you tell me that at the end of the day they were going to have 360 yards passing or 377 yards passing, whatever it ended up being. But they could not stop Western Kentucky, which was shocking to me because South Alabama is such a good defense, and I thought they had everything to play for in this game, and
that's what I thought. I was going to say, was the motivation not there or what?
They just didn't show up, and they were the ones having a great season, and Western Kentucky was not having as good a season as normal for them, and I think their quarterback was transferring after the game, it was just crazy to me. But no, their defense was horrendous. A well-deserved loss by me. So I'm glad that we bounced back on the NFL.
But so you got your 1-1, and then
that's all I'm here for, to go 1-1.
The other 2 plays were actually discussed on the last Tuesday video. I think I made them official. The Raiders and Steelers. under 39.5, and Atlanta Baltimore under 37.5. Didn't really have too many issues with either of those games.
Desmond Ritter is god awful for Atlanta.
Yeah.
I mean, their scheme doesn't help, but Drake London, I like their wide receiver, Drake London, but yeah, Atlanta Ravens without Lamar. There's just a lot of bad NFL offenses right now too with the weather.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
don't have a lot else to do besides run, anyways.
The other, just on my mind, the game, the first one you said, the
Raiders Steelers.
Yeah, that game, like Kenny Pickett. I don't understand. I don't understand what the Steelers are trying to do. Like half the time, I saw Freiermuth and Pickens. I'm like, to me, those are like two really solid weapons. I saw at one point they had like 10 targets, 9 completions for like 90 some yards. Like, and that was at the end of the game. I think they finished with like 10 targets or something like that. Maybe they might have got up to 11. I don't know. They should be on that offense. They should have like 15 targets, no problem between the two of them. Like they Pickens can make plays on the ball. Freiermuth is a big target for a young quarterback that's going to struggle a little bit. So the Steelers, I was happy for them. They pulled it out on Monday Night Football with everything with. Thought it was nice what happened. Franco Harris unfortunately dies right before he's able to get his number retired. But the game was ugly. Again, a defensive struggle, or actually an offensive struggle. And again, another winner, a video winner.
And it's funny, that game I actually lost a $50 bet on an over. I played the live over 32.5 at the start of the third quarter because I had a parlay that was the under 39.5 to hit for 200.
So you're trying to middle it.
Yeah, so I wanted a little bit of a little hedge there with a good number. I thought in case they get gone at all in the second half, but yeah, it didn't really happen. But yeah, that one actually consisted of the Kansas City under, the Baltimore under, Steelers under, and I think the Browns, the Cleveland game under, and
there's 5 games. Yeah,
San Francisco money line and KC money line, just thrown in there for fun. So that was nice. It's nice to hit one of those. It wasn't posted or anything, but it was just something I played around with. And
you could have played all 6 of your
Steelers
games.
Game. It didn't even have a chance. I was like, all right, well, it's just wasted 50. But
you could have played all 6 of your games in a round robin.
I could have.
And then you would have hit the fives. You would have hit a bunch of 4s if you did 4s and 5s, and you would have lost your 6, but it would have been profitable.
Yeah.
So how's my record up there? 9-6, 1-1 last week. There's Mike 5-1 for a 23-7, and overall the show right now is 32-13. So
it's a solid effort.
19 over 500, and hope to keep that rolling. Like we said, subscribe, please, if you're smart, to YouTube at Widener's Weather Wagers. And definitely follow both of us on Twitter. I'm at the Real SCAV. Mike is at UnderMike626. He'll put out the tweets, and you can get the best numbers possible that way. Let's talk about what you're seeing this week. I know I put up their NFL weather, but there's some bowl games going on and everything.
Yeah. Well, not looking good for this week. And I don't hate it because it was so busy last week with all the games and the big storm and Christmas and kids and all this stuff. I've been following the weather even this past weekend, looking. There's nothing really showing up, and gave it I'm trying to find something, and
kids, come
the
on.
Weather's warming up.
Anna.
We're getting a heat wave here, and it's going to be in the 50s to 60 around where we live in the next week. And
Nice. That's good to know.
yeah, there might be a little bit of a storm system coming through on Saturday with some rain. Pretty much looks to be gone out by Sunday morning. The East Coast games look like there could be some showers here and there, but temps are probably going to be in the 50s. There's not a lot of wind with the system, so there's nothing really in the NFL side that we can play at this point unless something would drastically change. And of course, I did look at all the bowl games coming up. There really isn't anything as well with those. I was looking at the one tomorrow night as a possibility. Kansas and Arkansas looks to maybe be 10 to 15 mile per hour winds right now.
Kansas versus Arkansas.
Yes. My Kansas versus your Kansas?
Yes.
But I noticed that the number is really high on that one. I think it's around 69 right now. So it's like, I was kind of considering it since I got nothing else going for me this week, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, Kansas games can be sometimes very high scoring because their defense blows. So, do you have anything? Do you know anything about those two teams and how they're if they have people not playing, how their attitude may be coming into this game? Don't off the top of my head in terms of opt-outs. I know if I had to say, I mean, this has been a very good year for Kansas, but they've kind of fallen off second half of the year versus how good their start was the first half of the year. Their defense is not great. They're going up against an SEC team. I'd have to look, though, to feel confident. Maybe it's something we put out on Twitter to see about opt-outs. Yeah. My gut would be right away to lean Arkansas. But I got to see what if their quarterback Jefferson's playing. I could definitely see him opting out of a lower, like a bowl game like this when he's going to be get ready to go. I'm sure he thinks at least into the draft. I don't know what his. I honestly don't know how highly they think of him, but even if you're not thought of highly, you don't want to get yourself injured right before, and then you're like, all right, not only is he not thought of that great, now he's injury prone.
Could be big for one of those guys that are kind of right on the bubble there that are
right. You don't want to be injured. You want to be able to show off on your pro day. So I do have. So here's. And I was just checking some late information. I do have a definite play, a college play, and I'll put it up right here.
Okay.
Let's get the banner right up here. So it's going to be, I believe it is Thursday night. And I'm just wanted to make the banner here. It's Minnesota against Syracuse. And
Thursday 2 p.m. Eastern time.
2 p.m. Okay, so it's not Thursday night. It's Thursday 2 p.m.
At Bronx. Yeah, Yankee Stadium.
So Syracuse has got the quote-unquote home field advantage playing in New York. But their running back Tucker's not playing. Again, they're a team to me that limped home. The Big Ten is just a whole different animal than the ACC is in terms of like power football. And Minnesota, they're going to play power football. As far as I know, Ibrahim, I don't know how he pronounces it to be sure. That's the running back.
He's like him.
Yeah, exactly.
I had him the last 3 nights. And
Did you?
Gone.
Going back to the well. Well, guess what? The Golden Gophers are going to go back to the well, and they're going to row the goddamn boat. I'll tell you what. They got plenty of running backs in reserve too that do the same thing, not as well as him, but I honestly like Minnesota by 3 touchdowns in this game. I don't see Syracuse being able to keep up without Tucker, and like I said, towards the end of the year, I thought they were kind of running on fumes anyway. So especially now it's sitting 9.5 left or something. I saw the other day or a couple days ago it was 10,
Mhm.
9.5. Grab it now, and for me, that's I think a real strong play. And I'm just trying to look up to see something about the pro game I was looking at. Give me 1 second here. It's going to be a real dog shit game that I'm going to be playing because that's what I like. Dog shit games.
Well, those are the best ones.
Yeah, I mean, well, you wouldn't be watching it probably otherwise. Let's see here. So, see, injury news is like it's only Tuesday when we record this, so sometimes NFL injury news isn't
Yeah.
that solid till a little bit. They go through practices. And while I'm scrolling through here, Syracuse finished up the year. By the way, they beat a god awful Boston College by 9. Lost to Wake Forest, lost to Florida State by 35, lost to Pitt 19-9, lost to Notre Dame 41-24. Their last probably good run was like mid-October. So again, I think they're running on fumes. My pick is, as of right now, I mentioned it earlier on there. Desmond Ridder and Atlanta are awful. They're laying 3.5 points this week. I get they're at home and they're going against the Cardinals, who also looked not great against the Bucks. However, and they're coming off a short week. I just can't. I could not see laying over a field goal with the Atlanta Falcons how they are right now. And I think one of the few things the Falcons have been doing well lately is running the ball. And I think that's one of the few things the Cardinals can do right now is stop the run. So I'm taking the Cardinals here. I'm going to put it in whether I know they're still surrounding who's going to start at quarterback. I think McSorley are probably going to start. I don't see why. McCoy is an older veteran and he's got banged up. If they want him back next year as their backup, they probably won't play him. And we know Kyler's done. So let's put it up here officially on the board. The Cardinals, that'll be my second play, plus the 3.5. Now, knowing this, and if you're playing, how it goes, that means that Minnesota, who I really like, is going to lay an egg, and the Cardinals will come through to make me 1-1. So
we need to bet it all on the Cardinals.
Yeah, or you just wait and see what happens with the first game. Maybe you wait. Maybe Minnesota rolls, then you fade my Cardinals. Hey, I don't care. You can fade me. You can say, hey, he's only going 1-1, so we know if he wins the first one, he can't possibly win the second. That's fine. But I do think if they have a second start for McSorley, I think this one should go a lot better. You got to figure the first one's on a nationally televised game against the greatest quarterback of all time. It's going to be tough to probably have your best that game. And he started to get more comfortable at the end of the game. So I think if he gets another start against a way shittier team like the Falcons, no pressure playing against Desmond Ridder, I think the Cardinals are a good play here, plus the 3.5. So no weather right now for you. But if something pops up, we see something, Michael tweeted out, or I know he's keeping an eye on that one situation he was speaking about. But and there isn't an FCS game, I think, for another 12 days. I think the FCS championship, which you specialize in,
that is that, and I had to look to see when that was too. And it's being played in Frisco, Texas, I believe.
Okay.
Because I didn't know how that worked with their championship, if it was at the higher seeds stadium or not, but it's in Frisco, Texas. I think it's January. I can't remember the date, but yeah, I'm gonna probably have a play for that one regardless, just in honor of my brilliance on the FCS this year. I'm gonna have something for that one,
and
I might have two.
Speaking of random 3-letter items, and I know we talked about this, I think, a little bit off camera, and I just put back up. Remember to follow Mike on Twitter to get those picks if he drops them early. Subscribe to the damn YouTube channel. Make comments. Ask us questions. We will answer them. But random 3 letters of FCS, how about this? XFL is only like less than 2 months away. They are playing outdoors, I believe. So there could be weather XFL plays.
Do they play on Sundays?
The XFL schedule. Let me see what the because it's obviously in the off season of the NFL.
Yeah,
they're not.
Yeah, honestly, I've never really followed that. I mean, I've heard about it. What is it? Last year it started back up, or
Well, the XFL. This is the first year back.
this is the first year back. What was that? What did they have last year?
I believe that was the USFL.
USFL. Okay.
Yeah. This is the XFL run by The Rock. It kicks off February 18th. So what is February 18th?
That's like the week or two after the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, they know you won football, and that's a Saturday. So they must be playing on Saturdays. What?
I said I just wanted a break after this.
There are no breaks. The weather never stops, Mike.
Well, it does this week, but yeah, apparently football never stops either.
Yeah, they realize there's a market out there for it. So yeah, XFL, and we'll get some low totals in some of these other leagues. A lot of times, you might get some random. Sometimes they throw out ones where you can take advantage of it. I mean, 2 really bad teams in the XFL with maybe weak quarterback play. Maybe be lucky to get to 24.
How many teams do they have in that? Do you know?
I think it's just 8. Just 8. Yeah.
That's cool. That'll be fun. That'll be something. There's only a lot of people talking about that.
It's a niche. It's a niche, and if you can sometimes, that's your best spot because there's not as much open information out there. So yeah, there's 43 games that'll be total in the league. So They probably will play 4 games a weekend.
And we can get. I mean, that time of year, there's going to be some storms coming. February is the East Coast. That's prime for storms coming up the coast with high winds, snow, rain. As you get into March, into the later March and the early spring, known for winds, fronts coming through. So that could be really good. That's something that I'm definitely looking forward to. And keep an eye out for that.
Oh, I definitely will. So we don't have, I think, anything else really right now for this week. I'm going to have to carry the show. Hopefully this is going to be my 2-0. It'd be a small broom, a dustpan. I'm going to take out if I go 2-0, the dustpan is coming out.
That'll be great. Well, I look forward to it, Sam.
Yep.
I look forward to it. And if anything would come up, I'll do a quick video or post on Twitter. But yeah, for now, I got nothing. I'm going to leave it with Sam's picks for you, and that'll be it for this week. Nothing changes. We'll be back next Tuesday.
Sounds good to me.
All right. See you.
Later.